In this video, we are going to work through the Unit 9 test review. So you guys can find this test review in your packets or you can find it on GoFormative. We're going to go through and make sure that you guys can go through this test review so you're successful on your test tomorrow. So what our first question is asking is it says we have f of x equals x squared plus 4x plus 3. And the question is, what is the vertex? So what we know about a graph is that a vertex is the place. So if this is my graph, the vertex is going to be at the very lowest point if it's a minimum, or the very highest point if it's a maximum. So what we can do is just go to Desmos and type in f of x equals x. The squared button is a to the 2 plus 4x plus 3. So we had learned how to get the vertex by hand. You did negative b over 2a. But we also know how to get the vertex by typing it into Desmos and clicking the vertex. The vertex is the lowest point, so I click it. Notice it's not the solutions. It's not the zeros. It's not the x-intercepts. I don't want that. In this one, I want the vertex. The vertex is the bottom of the V. So the correct answer for number 1, the bottom of the V, which is called the vertex, we can touch it. It's at negative 2, comma, negative 1. So then we find our answer choice, negative 2, comma, negative 1. Is this guy right here? Not too difficult. Let's go to number 2. Number 2 is asking, which statement about this graph is not true? Okay, letter A. The graph has, so wait, pause. We're looking to see what is not true. So which of these things is not true? The graph has an y-intercept at 0, 4. Here's the y-axis. Here's where it touches. Yes, that's at the number 4. What I know about a y-intercept is that it's written with the number in the y spot of the ordered pair. So it can't be A because that is true. The y-intercept is in fact at 0, 4. So the correct answer is not A. Letter B. The graph has a maximum point at 3, 8. What I know about maximum is it's the top of the graph. So this is my max. To get there, we go to the right 3 and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The maximum point is at 3, 8, so that is true. So the answer is not B. Letter C. The line of symmetry is defined by y equals 3. So line of symmetry, another word for that is called the axis of symmetry. Axis or line of symmetry, here we go. I always have you circle the x. So this one, it is not y equals 3. The axis of symmetry goes right down the middle of a graph. It's the invisible line down the middle of a graph, which is at 3, but it's always axis is x equals 3. So this is the one that is not true. So the answer has to be C. We can double check letter D. Letter D says that there is an x-intercept at the number negative 1. Yeah, there's an x-intercept at negative 1. So the one that is not true is C, because the axis of symmetry, or the line of symmetry, is written as x equals, not y equals. Okay, not too bad. Number 3. Number 3 says, what is the y-intercept? What is the y-intercept? The y-intercept is the place where the graph touches the y-axis. Okay, so it touches the y-axis at the number +5. What I know about a y-intercept is that that 5 has to sit in the y spot of the ordered pair. So my answer is 0, comma, 5. Which one says that? Not A, not B, not C. Correct answer is D. Y-intercept 0, comma, 5. Okay, next question. Domain. It's been a little while since we talked about domain. Domain is the x's. What I see about this graph is there's an arrow on the left and an arrow on the right. So that means the x's will go forever towards the left and forever towards the right. So the domain of this graph is going to be all real numbers. The domain of a U-shaped graph is always all real numbers. Every single time. It'll be all real numbers. Next, these are really easy. Anytime you see the word equivalent, so we learned how to solve this by hand, where you double distribute, multiply, subtract. But we can also do, if it ever says equivalent, this is the common phrase of star testing, which function is equivalent to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Desmos, and I'm going to type in this first one. Y equals 2 parentheses x plus 1 squared minus 3. Two parentheses x plus 1 squared minus 3. Whoop, I did it. So in Desmos, it shows up as a blue graph. So I'm going to write the word blue, because this shows up as a blue graph. So now, equivalent means, is it the same? So I'm going to try the next one. I'm going to plug this in. Keep the original one, type the new one. Y equals 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. It would help if I wrote it correctly. Okay, green graph. Does the green graph match the blue graph? So it shows up in green. That green graph is not the same as the blue graph. So the correct answer is not A, because that green graph did not match the blue graph. Now we're going to try B. Y equals 2x squared plus 4x minus 1. So y equals 2x squared plus 4x minus 1. Here we go. There's the blue graph. Here's the green graph. Do they match? Absolutely. So these are equivalent. So the correct answer is B. Very easy. Not too bad at all. Number 6 is exactly the same. What is equivalent? You can do this by hand by factoring and finding the two parentheses. In this one here, we can use Desmos. Y equals 8x plus 12. That's not right. Y equals x squared plus 8x plus 12. Okay, so my first original graph in this one is this purple graph. So now I'm going to type in A right below it. Y equals x plus 3 and x plus 4. Y equals parentheses x plus 3, parentheses x plus 4. Does this new graph match the original graph? It definitely is not exactly the same, so therefore it is not equivalent. So the answer is not A. Go ahead and try typing in B and see if it is equivalent. Then try typing in C. Not too bad. Okay, number 7, this one looks really ugly, but what it's saying is we have an equation and it just wants you to pick the graph that matches it. So I'm going to type in 2x squared plus 2x minus 2. X squared plus 2x minus 2. So here's this original graph. When we look at this graph, the vertex is just to the left of the y-intercept. So it's not A, because that vertex is not on the left side of the y-intercept. It's definitely not C, because that one's upside down. It's not C. So B looks exactly the same as this graph here. Okay, so we just graph that question and look to see which one looks the same. Next. Very, very important, the word roots. For the last week, we've been talking about solutions, zeros, roots, x-intercepts. Those are all super important. Roots are the same as the word x-intercepts. So where are the roots of this graph? There's one right here. There's one right here. From 0, this one is -1, and this one goes to the right 2, +2. So -1 and 2. Because they're x-intercepts, I'm going to write it as -1, 0, and 2, 0. For an x-intercept or a root, the number has to sit in the x spot of the ordered pair. Which answer choice matches this answer here? Pretty easy. Okay, number 12 is definitely a little bit more difficult. We didn't spend a whole lot of time on this, so I just want to make sure you know how to do it. So in this one here, is this actually 12? It's 9. Sorry, these numbers are a little off. That's okay. So on this question here, what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to type it into Desmos. Y equals 2x minus 2 squared. Y equals 2x minus 2 squared minus 5. So now you can see the graph on Desmos. It always shows you the graph, but what I need is the table. So I go to this little spiky circle, and then I click the table. So what I'm looking for are these two ordered pairs to be sitting on my table. So does 2 go with -5? Yes, it sure does. Does 1 go with -2? Nope, it goes with -3. So the correct answer is not A, because it does not have both answers on its table. So when you're ready, you're going to take B, you're going to type it into Desmos. Oops, let's make that look better. You're going to click this little spiky circle thing. And then you click this table. On the table, does 2 go with -5? Does 1 go with -2? That's what you're looking for. Not too bad. So go ahead and finish up this one. When we're ready, we have a couple left. Next is number 10. So number 10 asks for the solutions. Another word for the word solution is the word 0. A 0 has the 0 in the back. So when we look at this example, A, B, and C, this one has a 0 in the back, and this one has a 0 in the back. Segundo, second. So which answer choice, A, B, or C, has both of those answers? Very easy. Okay, next one. Also easy. What we're going to do, type the original parent function into Desmos. We did this for a while. F of x equals x squared. Okay, what's the parent function? This one is black. Then we have a new function. I'm going to type it in exactly as I see it. G parentheses x equals parentheses x plus 5 squared. There it is. So from the black graph to the red graph, where did it move? From black to red, it moved to the left. It moved over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. Type them both into Desmos. From the original parent function, from the origin, the new graph moved to the left. To get here, it went to the left 5 units. Easy. That's called a horizontal, because a horizontal line goes left and right. So this is a horizontal shift, left 5 units. Okay, last few. In this one, what is the solution? R of x equals 0. What solution means? It's just x-intercepts. They give you a lot of points here that don't matter. The only point that does matter is the x-intercept. There's one here. There's one here. There's one sitting at the number -2. And there's one sitting at the number +3. Which answer choice has one of those numbers in it? Very easy. Okay, next one. All right, what we learned this week is every time you have an x squared and an equal sign, we need for it to equal 0. Okay, that's what we learned this week. So in this example, I see an x squared and an equal sign, but it doesn't equal 0, so we need to get it ready for the calculator. To get it ready for the calculator, you have to move the 1 by doing -1. That will make it go away. If I minus 1 from the right side, I need to minus 1 from the left side. So that gives me 3x squared plus 2x minus 1 equals 0. So now that it equals 0, this is ready for Desmos. And we're going to type it in. 3x squared plus 2x minus 1. Here it is, 3x squared plus 2x minus 1. Okay, this is asking for the solutions. Solutions are here. So one of the answers is -0.768. We can put that 0, -0.768. The other solution is 0.434. The question is, which of these solutions is the negative? So a negative number has that negative in the front. So the correct answer that you're going to type is the negative solution. So there's two solutions, but the one that's negative is the -0.768, which is the correct answer for number 13. Last but not least, number 14 is exactly the same. If I see an x squared and an equal sign, it has to equal 0. So I'm going to do +3 and +3. You always move it by doing the opposite operation. That leaves me with x squared plus 4x. Then we have a +3, and then it equals 0. I don't know what this is doing, sorry guys. Plus. So that -3 had to move to the left, so I did +3. So now it equals 0. So now that this graph equals 0, it's ready for Desmos. So you take the trinomial and you plug it into Desmos. X squared plus 4x plus 3. Here it is. We touch the x-intercepts. Those are my solutions. There's 1 at the number -3 and -1. Which answer choice has one of those solutions? Very easy. Okay, so this is the full test. So numbers 1 through 14 are not that bad. This test review is very similar to what you'll be testing on tomorrow. So make sure that you are comfortable with these. Look through each question. Equivalent means the graphs are the same. Solutions, zeros, and roots just mean you're looking at the x's. Lots of Desmos to be able to make this chapter really easy. You can also do things by hand, which you also learn in this chapter. Okay? Good luck with this test. If you have questions, ask your teacher, and you will do very well.